For years, the Ghanaian passport has opened doors, across borders, across dreams. Today, we step into the future. With the new chip-embedded passport, Ghana is safer, more secure, and ready for tomorrow. We're working around the clock, literally, introducing 24-hour passport services, e-tracking at your fingertips, courier delivery to your doorstep, a 30% reduction in fees, and you get your new chip-embedded passport in under 15 days, or in just 5 days with expedited service. Because your time matters, your dreams matter, and every Ghanaian deserves a passport process that is simple, dignified, and yours. The Mahama administration is breaking every barrier, so nothing stands between you and the world.
It's also a little bit of a cliche. I mean, we're all used to the James Bond scene, as it were, with all the ambassadors sipping champagne and seeming to do nothing else but dine and sip champagne at receptions. That is not true. That is a misconception of the time and the nature of the work.
Diplomacy is not devoid of accountability.
Everything that matters in Africa matters to Europe as well. Be it demography, be it economy, be it security, be it culture.
Can somebody tell me where Ghana is found in Africa? Is it west, is it south, is it north, is it east Africa? Which one? Any idea? Any idea?
It's like on the west.
It's like, this is what? I don't get
it. It's the south. It's to the west. To the west.
Okay. South American ambassadors represented.
I'm transforming the UN and making the UN more fit for business for Ghana is the prime objective that I have here.
You are one outstanding journalist, broadcast journalist, who has put diplomatic tourism and, diplomatic relations under one spotlight.
I have
Welcome to Monday morning. Welcome to your most authoritative morning show program, Good Morning Africa, live on your #1 station, Pan-African Television. I've been telling you, anybody who wants to argue about the fact that Pan-African Television is the best morning show in Africa, you have your bet to argue with, yeah? My name is Kwame Usudan, so Esquire. I've been joined in the studios by Dr. Marzouk, and PD Prince Derek Eje of the NDC. Dr. Marzouk is a lecturer, he's a political analyst, he is a civil rights advocate, and we are going to be dealing with some of the most important issues that the world ought to hear. This morning, we are going to discuss the matter relative to Iran and what is happening, really. In Iran. U.S. warplanes strike 3 nuclear sites as Iran warns of everlasting consequences. Daily Guide newspaper. I can tell you, I've been following this story on Twitter, and I've been following it on Iran military's page. I've been following the story on the Supreme Leader's page. I've been following the story on a U.S. citizen, really, who I think wanted to contest as president of the United States of America, who is in full support of Iran. I'll be following the commentaries on his page, on his page as well. And it is evident that I think the United States of America is engaged in PR, because apparently those nuclear sites which they claim they bombed were relocated months and months and months before. So Iran was like 5 steps ahead of the United States of America. Anyway, Japan slams MPP over grassroots neglect. Religious politics is dangerous for MPP, Baumia tells opponents. Are these all the stories that we have? Don't we have any positive story as well? I mean, from the NDC, what are they doing? Nobody. I said Prince. Bless Headman Aloma. So if you can get me another story, because Charlie, these ones. Let's look for more progressive stories as well, like things that are happening and all of that. So Bless, please help me with if we have a story like that, I'll be very grateful. Prince, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
I trust you are well. Are these the Lalande documents?
Well, yes, a lot of them actually.
You need to furnish me with copies.
This one deals with the trade fair. This one caused President Akufo-Addo to run away from the trade fair after taking $2 billion from the Stella Holdings company of Singapore, ostensibly to take about 50%. No, dollars, $2 billion. Yes. The speaker was waiting for him because it was an international contract, and it has a lot.
Can you furnish me with this?
Oh yes, sure.
Can I get a copy? I mean,
yes, it's a public document. I'll leave a copy with you.
Yeah, I want a copy.
This one is a nice document, the NIC report, nice. That one deals with all the lands that have been taken by government. Every single one of them is here, the villages and so on, everything. All the details are here.
But why do you carry them around? Do you have other copies?
Yes.
Okay.
But these are public documents, and they are in the archives of Ghana. They are the Lands Ministry and so on. And yes, the Lands Ministry has started doing a lot of good jobs on the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into the Lands. So I think that not too long from now, La people will be happy.
All right.
Yeah. So
all right. I'm happy with the work you've been doing for the people of La.
Well,
kudos to you.
I hope everybody is.
Oh, I mean, it's like justice. When it's being served, the judgment creditor is always happy. The judgment debtor is unhappy.
Sure.
So you can't please everybody. Well, that's how it is.
I want to believe that the people of Ghana should be the better for it, because the last state or the last two gave the lands for national development. And so insofar as this government is trying to, as it were, reset and ensure that the lands are applied in that direction, and also that equity becomes the name of the game, and benefits from the lands. And
Dr. Mazouk, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
It's been long.
Yes.
Quite long.
Yeah,
over a month, I believe.
Yes, I was in Canada. I think I informed you. Yes,
I think it is in your imaginary information. You inform me through your cognitive imaginations.
No, I think I informed everybody here. Okay, sorry, it was blessed. I think I informed everybody here. Yes. I wouldn't be here for about 2 months.
We have a deal.
Yeah.
He is supposed to get an institution from to go and present a paper.
Yeah.
I had a paper on the effect of the China-US trade war.
Yes.
And I wanted to, go and present
Fantastic.
it. But no, I have it. I published it in Ghana.
So we can.
A lot of people. In fact, I granted some interviews on SAME.
Oh, fantastic.
Let me go for this quick commercial break, because Solomon Usu just joined us. When he finally gets to sit on the seat, I will ask him a few questions.
Yes.
But when we return from the break, Dr. Mazouk, we're going to start with you on the Iran Russia conflict.
No problem.
And
Israel?
Hey, did I say Russia?
Iran,
Israel, America conflict. And Yemen, this one I'm learning Yemen has also fired some missiles heading towards Tel Aviv.
Yes.
So I don't like wars, but you see, it sweets my ears when the oppressor is being oppressed. Quick commercial break, stay with us. Our technical team come and mic Solomon Owusu so that we can have a very wonderful conversation. Stay with us.
For years, the Ghanaian passport has opened doors, across borders, across dreams. Today, we step into the future. With the new chip-embedded passport, Ghana is safer, more secure, and ready for tomorrow. We're working around the clock, literally, introducing 24-hour passport services, e-tracking at your fingertips, courier delivery to your doorstep, a 30% reduction in fees, and you get your new chip-embedded passport in under 15 days, or in just 5 days with expedited service. Because your time matters, your dreams matter, And every Ghanaian deserves a passport process that is simple, dignified, and yours. The Mahama administration is breaking every barrier, so nothing stands between you and the world.
We are back. Thank you very much. Good morning to you, Solomon Owusu. How are you?
I'm good at your side.
I like the way you have handled the Great Transformational Plan. Now, it actually is in need of
a replacement. You see how I'm so loyal to. Yes, that's my Bible.
Listen, let's start with Dr. Mazouk on this Iran-Israel conflict. I don't want to describe it as war yet.
Yes.
Conflict.
Okay.
You know the Genesis.
Yeah.
You know the Exodus. Hey, is Exodus in the Bible? Okay. you know the Old Testament and the New Testament. Yeah. You know, this whole conflict is creating, or has the potency of creating, or bringing about World War III. I think Putin has been very instructive by saying that what America is doing is inviting Third World War. North Korea, even though people are saying it's untrue, is saying that they are going to supply Iran with nuclear nukes. Yeah, and so because they said they want Iran to be able to defend themselves. You know, countries which have nukes have not been attacked. No. Exactly. So they want Iran to also defend themselves. But recently, we're told that 3 of the nuclear bases have been attacked or bombed rather by the U.S. Government. And I think Donald Trump yesterday held a press conference, 2 days ago or Friday or something like that, in which he indicated that they had successfully bombed those 3 nuclear sites. Subsequent to that, people have come out laughing at United States of America, indicating that the people moved all the equipment, all the nukes, everything from the site, even months before they were attacked. Let me start with you, because the problem beyond all of these attacks is also the fact that you see Iran is in a very if you like, advantageous position in terms of its positioning. You know, where they are close to how do you call it? Where they send the river that they transport the oil and things, you know, through. I've forgotten the name. Yeah. Right? They are threatening to close it down.
The trace of Hormuz.
Yes, Hormuz. You know, so but that is where the conversation is now, yeah. And its impact or effect on the geopolitics of the world. Yeah.
Good morning to the cherished viewers, and thanks for the opportunity to be here. This is very important, and you are right that definitely we should be expecting the worst from it and the best from it. Last week, I made it clear that the worst that would come from this conflict would be Third World War. That would be the worst. But in every situation, you just don't think about the worst. You should also think about the best. And the best that would also come from it will be a new international order that articulates the centrality of right over might. So it is important for all of us to understand that it affects everybody. But when you bring the whole issue to one word, it is supremacy. Complete supremacy. Israel, through the US, wants to establish its supremacist control over the whole region. And it is not only Israel, It is the US and its imperialist partners. And Israel sees the opportunity of the support it gets from the US and its allies to misbehave. It started as a victim of Holocaust, victim of oppression. Now everybody knows that Israel has become a bully of its neighbors. And it has succeeded in bullying everybody and every nation in that region. Iran says no way to the bully. We will not submit to your subjugation. And people should understand that in every situation of oppression, there is an iota of resistance. So whilst Israel symbolizes ethnic supremacism, territorial expansionism, and genocidal exceptionalism, Iran decides to stand for resistance of all kinds of oppression in the world. So if you want to do an equation of the whole situation, we have one side symbolizing oppression, and then we have another side symbolizing resistance. The oppressor is allowed to do anything. The oppressor does not respect international order, no international law, not international law, not international humanitarian law, and the oppressor enjoys absolute impunity. Iran decides not to submit to this kind of impunity. And that is exactly what is happening. Today, people are arguing, those supporting Iran, the supporting Israel, America, are arguing that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. Fine, Iran doesn't even have a nuclear weapon and does not intend to produce one because weaponization is against the nuclear doctrine of Iran. It has made it clear. Their understanding of Islam tells them that no matter how prepared you are, you should not produce any weapon of mass destruction. So weaponization is not even part of their nuclear doctrine. But even if they decide to, I think in the interest of equal justice, they have the right to produce a nuclear weapon. If Israel cannot produce a nuclear weapon and then argues that that weapon is for its defense, Iran, as a sovereign nation, can also do that.
Absolutely.
Yes. So beyond their nuclear doctrine, let's also contextualize the issue, right, in the track of international law and then equal justice. If they decide to abandon or to change this nuclear doctrine, they can still be allowed to produce a nuclear weapon. Unless, of course, you are telling me that we are now in an era of might over right. And that will drive humanity to the semblance of animal kingdom. And of course, we are just near there. So Iran decides not to produce a nuclear weapon. And you know that it is not producing a nuclear weapon. Netanyahu has been using this deception for the past 30 years. 30 years ago, the next day, Iran will produce a nuclear weapon. It never produced any nuclear weapon.
They said Iran is months away.
Months away. 30 years ago. And it is repeating. I mean, he is repeating this deception. Yet, his imperialist masters, for whatever reason, either out of ignorance or out of arrogance, because the issue is made up of two, either ignorance or arrogance, have accepted this deception and have allowed it to misbehave. In fact, they have allowed Israel to misbehave. And Iran says, no way. Now, we have two nations. One has a nuclear weapon. The other does not have. The one that has a nuclear weapon has a history of bullying its neighbors. It has attacked Jordan, Syria, Yemen, Iraq,
Palestine,
everybody. Everybody within that area, even Egypt, it has that history. Iran does not have that history. Yet, the one with the nuclear weapon, the one with the history of violence, the one with the history of ethnic supremacism, the one with the history of territorial expansionism, the one with the history of absolute genocide, genocidal mentality, that one does not constitute a threat to humanity. The one that does not have the history of all these negativities is a threat to humanity. It does not even have the nuclear weapon, yet it is a threat to humanity. What kind of international order are we observing? So Iran says no. Then, out of arrogance and out of the mentality of technological superiority and military supremacy, Israel thought it could just attack Iran with impunity and win the war, because they have been doing that. That Israel struck. Iran retaliated. Now, what has come to be obvious is that the myth surrounding Israel's military supremacy has been broken.
Absolutely, the Iron Dome.
The Iron Dome has become a paper dome. The Davis sling has become the Pharaoh sling. And whatever, all these claims about Israel military supremacy have been dismantled. Clearly, Israel has never suffered the kind of devastation, infrastructural, economic, military, and political in its 77 history, 77 years of existence. It has never. And the issue is clear. Iran has decided to be a symbol of resistance and will resist. Iran operates on the basis of two ideologies: military might, the right to resist, and the readiness to die.
Yeah.
In fact, they call it might-idom.
Yeah.
They are not fighting to live. They are fighting to establish their dignity or to die in dignity. And they believe that death in dignity is better than life in indignity. That's their policy. And so far, everybody has understood it very well, and everybody has seen the devastation. Look at Israel today, Tel Aviv, Haifa. In fact, Iran has been able to establish and to create scenes of Gaza in Tel Aviv, in Haifa, in Jerusalem, and in other cities of Israel. Now, US comes in. And US, as you have rightly said, has made either mockery or quackery of its military might. It's like attacking or misattacking or mistargeting something that is not even important. US has struck, and Iran continues to show military might and resistance. The strike of US pushed the world to another level of danger. The parliament of Iran has now decided to close the Strait of Hormuz, which will destabilize the global economy. It is up to the Ayatollah Khamenei to endorse it. And if it is endorsed, then US itself will be in a heavy economic catastrophe, and the whole world will suffer it. Iran may decide not to allow the whole world to suffer. And if it becomes worse, Iran may teach the whole world a lesson. And that lesson will raise to another pedestal the virtue of resistance and dismantle the vice of oppression. And I strongly believe that Iran will not allow itself to be bullied.
Yeah.
I am calling on world leaders to ensure that justice is done.
Yeah.
As we are still witnessing the resistance, I call on the United Nations, I call on the United States of America and the supremacist Israel to come to the terms of reasoning. Arrogance cannot win this conflict.
Right.
And it is clear that Iran has demonstrated to the whole world that any kind of oppression can be resisted.
Okay.
Let me end by appealing to all members of humanity to see this war or this conflict, as you have rightly said, as a matter of clash between civility and incivility, between justice and injustice, between accountability and impunity.
All right.
And let all members of humanity rise against the vices and stand for the virtues.
Thank you very much. So let me come to you before I come to Prince. There's this complex in the politics of the world. There's this complex interplay of what he described, quite profoundly as supremacy. Political supremacy or geopolitical supremacy. And it's been demonstrated, albeit maxed in this concept of control. Lies in the belly of that control, if you like, the principle of wanting to subjugate others from emerging as countries that can stand on their own and defend themselves, right? And so, I mean, this thing, look, I'm very happy it's happening in our lifetime, because then it's giving us an opportunity to really go back into history and appreciate, the trajectory of things. And it has been evident by reason of, if you like, the fact that anytime the United States of America wants to attack a country, they create this impression that, for instance, Saddam Hussein, they say, Saddam Hussein is building nukes, then they said Libya's president, what's his name, Gaddafi, was building nukes.
The same narrative.
The same narrative. The same narrative. And now Khomeini is also, Iran. They're saying is so. But then again, I think one of the things that we perhaps have not, if you like, looked at, is when the attack happened, because the attack happened immediately after Netanyahu visited Trump.
Yes.
I don't know if you yes. So the conversation that becomes, what kind of conversation did they have to give Netanyahu the balls, if you like, to come and attack Iran under the guise of protecting, the Middle East and bringing peace? They go under, there's a peace, right? But it's important. It's very complex. But lying in that complexity is one, the principle of supremacy, okay? Two, the principle of sovereignty and independence. Three, the principle of protecting religion. Because you see, Khomeini, this morning I was reading, said something. He said, I don't care about Iran. I care about my religion. Because you see, they think that there's this, that appears so, that there's this scheme that is, being put together just to annihilate Muslims in that particular region, and so they have to defend it. So, what is your opinion on all of these nuances, all of these pronouncements, all of these, if you like, deliberateness on the part of Israel and on the part of USA, and most important, the resistance, by Iran?
Kwame, the truth of the matter is that Iran is in this battle alone. That's the truth of the matter. The religious angle is even what makes it very dangerous for Iran itself, because I have listened to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, who says the regime in Iran must be taken out.
That was long before.
Now, the current Crown Prince.
Are you surprised?
No.
Are you surprised? Trump just visited them.
No, I'm coming. You see, when you are looking at international politics and you don't go beyond.
Maybe that's why he visited.
You understand? You see?
No, but not cutting you.
Yes.
That was long.
Whether even it is long before.
Yes.
See, Saudi Arabia.
You are right.
Yes.
You are right.
Saudi Arabia.
Before you even come in, please. I mean, he's absolutely right. One of the factors pushing the Israeli impunity is the cowardice of the Arab monarchies.
Yeah, true.
No, but the point is that they are benefited. People have not addressed their minds to the fact that why is it that almost every 2 years Saudi Arabia deliberately goes to the US and buy ammunitions worth billions, hundreds of billions of dollars? It's a pure business happening. Why is the UAE not supporting Iran? Why is Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, all these rich countries not supporting Iran? But rather they are allies of the United States of America. That's why I'm saying that if Iran is going to go on a religious angle, they will not have the backing. Can you imagine the Crown Prince or the government of Saudi Arabia calling America out? America will not go forward. Believe in me. Now, where Iran would have gotten their, as it were, their voices heard would have been the UN Security Council. Let's go and look at the permanent members, the permanent members. You have the China, you have Russia, you have the United Kingdom, you have France, and you have the United States. Believe you me, anytime Israel is involved in any war, Russia will not go. But a lot of the Israelis that you see today, they are of Russian origin. They will never go. Because they see them as their brothers. Isolating only China. You understand? So at the UN too, you will not have that vote. Because Israel, the current Israel, is an appendage of UK. They, through the Balfour Declaration, they established that Zionist movement over there.
Colonial project.
You understand? So if you go to the UN Security Council and there is a vote, you have the UK here, US, France here, they are all brothers. Russia and China would have gone on one side. They also see Israel as one of their people. And that is why it is becoming too difficult for Iran to defend itself. I have said it, I said it last week also, that what is happening to Iran is unconscionable. It's totally needless. Any blood that will be shed in Tehran will go to hunt whoever did it for the rest of his life. Because anytime you accuse these people of having nukes or nuclear weapons, they hardly use it. But why do they think we have Ghana Atomic Commission here? Yeah. We must have the nukes here too. But what makes America think they have the right to have nukes and no other country, because they can think straight than more than anybody? What? But we are living in a world that is so unfair. So unfair. That anybody can just get up from his country and go and bomb another country and we clap for the person. It can happen to Ghana, mind you.
Yeah.
That one day we will be here and the country thinks that we have a lot of gold here, we just bring B2 spirit, come and release some of it here and then off we go. This is not a civilized world. No, it's not a civilized world. I said it the last time that I am not too sure whether Iran will survive it, but they will fight. Yes. Humanity will suffer. And I'm also not too sure whether they will be bold enough to close the Hormuz. Because the thing is that in World War II, you must be able to win other countries to your side. Can you imagine they closing it and the hardships start manifesting, especially in our part of the world? Then people will immediately forget the genesis of this war, that it was never started by Iran, but because of the hardship, people will say, you are causing it. You will easily forget. They have done nothing wrong. What at all has Iran done? Somebody should point it out to me. And that is why I don't want us to even reduce. When they come to Africa, they reduce this whole battle to Christians and Muslims. Meanwhile, go to Jerusalem today. Christians, they don't respect the Jews. They don't respect Christians. Oh.
No, they don't.
They don't even want to hear that religion you call Christianity. It's an abomination to them. They believe in the Judaism. So why dabble yourself in such matters? And which portions of the Bible say always go and spill blood, go and shed blood of innocent souls? But you see, that is why deliberately they have made a greater proportion of this world poor. Poor man does not have any voice. Put all Africans together, the 54 countries, we will not be able to even buy about 10 fighter jets. So we don't matter under the circumstance. And like you rightly said, why didn't we hear about Saddam Hussein having weapons of mass destruction? In fact, when the US decided to invade Iraq, those that were watching it live on CNN, another propagandist media outlet, all of that, they painted Saddam Hussein as a demon. To the extent that some of us in those days, anytime we saw Saddam Hussein, he's a satanic. They took him out. We realized that Iraq didn't have any of the things that the US has not seen or found it necessary to even apologize to the world. We thought that was so far. It was far over, so we didn't care. Now, when they were done with Saddam Hussein, they brought it to Africa.
Even though they confess their crime,
yes,
they never apologize.
No, they would never apologize.
Arrogance.
They brought it here. Our innocent Gaddafi, who was trying to unify the continent, making life so bearable for his people. Libya was at the toast of Africa. You go there, accommodation, food, jobs. Oh my goodness. Sarkozy, Blair, Obama. That's why that man, when I see him, Obama, and with his rhetorics, I don't want to see his face. He said he was a black man representing the black ideology. His father came from Kenya. They used him to go and eliminate
a black man. Saddam Hussein. I mean Gaddafi.
Gaddafi. Yeah. As we speak, it is the reason why the Sahelian region we have in West Africa is not peaceful, because the remnants, the ammunition that were left there has been transported downwards, and that's what is being used to destabilize the Sahelian region. Sure. But one day, the charcoal seller's son will also wear white. Let it be known to the Americans that in the same way the Soviet Union was so powerful in the past, in the same way at a point the United Kingdom was the Kankabi, they were the I am that I am, now they are not. Tomorrow they may not be in the position that they find themselves. And they must watch it how they are treating others, because when power shifts, we will remember what they did with the power that they had to also treat them. Yep. It must not be lost on them that they are losing power, grip of power. The global power order is shifting from their hands. Because if you look at this room, Kwame, how many of the items here can you attribute to the United States of America?
Zilch.
So what do they think that, what makes them think that they are that powerful again? In the next 3-4 years, the world will move on without the United States. They have to know it. They have to know it and stop what they are doing. Iranians, I believe, are level-headed people. But as whether the bloodshed will be necessary is what I'm concerned.
Right. Thank you, Solomon Owusu. Let me come to Prince Eric on this matter. Prince. Yeah. Yes, sir.
I'd like to be very brief.
Okay.
It's early days yet. We've seen Israel attack Iran. We've seen Iran retaliate. We've seen America, despite the Trump 2-week period, striking Iran just for the weekend. Iran is still firing, and the threats that are coming up, that's the latest, about closing the Straits of Hormuz is for me a worry, actually being a Ghanaian at this time. We have barely stabilized the cedi against the dollar. we have managed to get oil prices, you know, to an acceptable level and still coming down, as in fuel prices at the pumps for petrol, diesel. Even the 1 cedi levy has been paused, which levy we know was to redeem the electricity infrastructure of our country and ensure that the lights stay on, so we avoid doomsday. And even after the MPP have squandered the ESLA money that was meant for the same purpose. So suddenly, a war erupts. And for me, the sadness is that we'll look at the Ghana foreign policy. We'll have to look at it. However, we know the narrative under the NPP, where they used the Ukraine-Russia war to explain away their inefficiency, incompetence, and their thievery. Today, we don't have just that war still playing out. It's still active. It's even getting worse because Russia is stepping up its fight against Ukraine, and Ukraine is also hitting back inside Russia at a pace and magnitudes that had hitherto not been seen. So that war is very active, more alive now than it was before. And then bingo, Israel and Iran join the fray with America. It's getting worse in terms of the global, picture. And so I agree with Dr. Masud when he says that we have a possibility and there are warnings in that direction that we may be heading towards Armageddon. Because it is perhaps fanciful to think of nukes being introduced into war. The restraints of using nuclear weapons is very important for our collective survival. If one nuclear bomb is dropped, not even in Africa, but close to Africa, and don't forget that Israel is not far away. Israel is just at the top there of Africa. It's not too far from us. The effects, I'm talking in terms of even distance. If the effect of a nuclear bomb being dropped, look at what happened in Hiroshima, in Nagasaki, and you would understand that, and it depends on the size of bombs that are used, the warheads. It can actually clear us off the map as well. Now, forget also the fact that, assuming we're to look at North Korea, and North Korean weapons have not been known to be very accurate in targeting. So you target Mazouk and it hits Solo. Can you imagine if the deflection is more south than north? If it goes northwards, it's heading towards the European side. If it misses and it's coming southwards, then Ghana may even be a target. And the concentric circles of the effect of nuclear activity, it's not just the destruction, the deaths and so on, but the radioactivity. It's going to be worse than what we have with Galamsey. We're crying about Galamsey today in Ghana. Imagine if a nuclear bomb or nuclear bombs are now being deployed all over the place. What happens to our humanity? We are gone. So the gravity of this conflict cannot be underestimated. I mean, if you remember, even in the Ukraine-Russia war, the Russians at some point threatened to use the nuclear option. We know Putin is not too different from Trump when it comes to their mindset. And I'm not talking about being erratic, but being not measured and sometimes being selfish to a point where it's even unimaginable. I mean, if you look at so far, the fact that it's only the Chinese, to some extent, who have been more forceful in their statements. Russia has spoken, yes, but I mean, Russia itself, you can discount their words because they are also in some funny war in their backyard over similar issues. The Israelis are saying that they are facing an existential threat from their Arab neighbors. They fought wars over land, they fought wars in defense of their, whatever. And the Arabs have also, done same as an attack Israel in the past before, with an attempt to annihilate them. There's rhetoric from Iran that goes to the effect, not just Iran, but some of the neighboring countries, that Israel must be not conquered, but, as it were, removed from the face of the earth. There are similar statements about down with America, etc., from Iran in particular. And that has been what these leaders, that's Netanyahu and Trump in recent times, have capitalized on. Successive governments of these two countries have been capitalizing on these things, and I then agree also with Solo on the false claims that have been made in the past to, as it were, justify some wars that were needless. The Iraqi invasion, Saddam was a tyrant. Saddam was a dictator, no doubt. But are we better off now after the removal of Saddam? No. Sometimes the balance of power is very, very important, especially in the Arab, area, because if you don't have a strong leader, you have chaos. Look at what has happened in Syria. We know the Assads, the dynasty, have been tyrants. They've been dictators to a fault. At least as far as the narrative has been pushed by the Western media, whom we consume. We haven't had our own independent media or our own independent, verification efforts at some of the narratives that have been churned out, mostly by the CNNs and BBCs and so on. And of course, these networks are biased. Over this weekend, I've listened and watched various narratives from different stations, and you'll be asking yourself, is it the same war? Is it the same conflict, as you guys choose to call it? I call it war. It's not conflict. If you were in there, to every 5 minutes or so, be wondering when the next, siren is going to come off, or when the next alert is going to come by a phone for you to run into a bomb shelter. Ghana, do we have any bomb shelters? No. No? Do we have alert? Like phone sirens? No. Listen, no. They didn't even get the benefit of even getting message on their phones. Alert on your phone. Ghana, who's going to alert you? So we must be very careful. We must be very careful. We must be very careful how we invite wars. Some people are gleefully expecting that, this war, like we haven't seen war before. We haven't seen Third World War. We haven't seen Second World War. We haven't seen even the First World War. And so maybe, it's a little romantic to say that, and that's why I disagree with Dr. Masuk. He seemed to be romanticizing the prospect of a war. If he calls this one a conflict. This, for me, is the war. And it is not a conflict. Go to Baku and see. It's a war where our military and police teachers are not able to teach. Health personnel are not able to. It is. Look at this Ghana and the things that are happening. No, please. No, you hold on. Look at what is happening. Galamsey is war. No. Galamsey is war, where the states, at some point in the previous administration, 9 out of our forest reserves were totally no-go areas. Now, about 8 of them have been reclaimed under John Mahama in less than 6 months. However, we saw just a few weeks ago Hannah Bisu and the attack that she came under from Galamsey. That is not a war. That is not even a war. So, look, any violence of any sort. Just even look at Accra. Komowa is coming. Taiwa and what's his name? Lache are threatening each other. It is not funny at all. We will be in Accra in a few weeks or months. If nothing happens and it erupts, that will be a war. Let us not romanticize any form of potential violence. And I think that should be the government's position with this war that's out there.
Thank you.
Without looking at just the economic fallout. I think our foreign policy should be designed and perhaps reappraised to a point where Ghana can play a key role in international politics, and Africa must have a seat at the Security Council. Right. Those are things I think we should be pushing for.
Thank you very much.
Should not be. No, please, just 1 second.
But you said briefly. We're speaking for more than 5 minutes. So if you're briefly is 5 minutes.
So in conclusion, I think that there's another very dangerous narrative that I saw over the weekend. A lot of the American media are now pushing a thing into a Christian realm and trying to use the Bible to justify various things. Yes, and I agree with, I don't know who talked about the Jews not being necessarily Christian. I think Solo. Okay. It is true. Their doctrines are sometimes even totally opposed to Christianity. But because the Bible mentions, so people are in that false, belief that it's Christianity and so on. Whether assuming it was even Christianity, and so what? Do we want to have a religious battle between Christians and Muslims? So Mazouk is sitting to my left and I punch him. I mean, what sense does it make? Let us stop this nonsense that is going on. The propaganda out there from the Americans must stop. Let us end this war. Let's have equity.
Let's make progress. Thank you very much.
No, just a minute.
Oh, Dr. Mazouk.
No, I beg you. He accused me of romanticizing a war.
No, he's now romanticizing peace.
Let's because I have called for peace.
Yes.
I have called on all the warring factions, Iran, Israel, US,
especially Israel and US.
Yes, to stop the nonsense. I have called
for the Houthis. Are they still around?
No, just a minute.
Because of their proximity.
No, just a minute.
The Hormuz.
No, just a minute. Just a minute.
Stop it all.
Just a minute. And I have even called on Iran to exercise restraint in handling the Hormuz, right? And I've also called on humanity to stand up to anything that will destabilize us. How do I romanticize war?
No, so I think, proud to these statements, your preamble was the romantic
mention that
in warfare.
No, mention that.
You're echoing. But you didn't go to the days of the Shahs, but beyond that, after the revolution, the rhetoric is exactly what you're echoing.
No, but I never said that. I want you to mention it.
No, I will repeat it.
No. Then you are not fair to me. Because look, all that I've said is that.
You want me to rebroadcast it?
Yes. All that I've said is that, look, I've brought two nations.
Yes.
And I've said one nation stands for resistance.
Right.
Another nation stands for oppression. It is a fact.
Let's make progress. Let's make progress.
So I want it to be on record that I am a pacifist. I am calling for peace, and I will encourage anybody.
No aggression on Iran.
I think,
or any other state.
But I think I have done that. But all I've said.
Preamble. No, don't be the first.
What is the preamble?
Gentlemen, can we make progress?
No,
let's make progress.
Let's make progress.
It's on record. It's on record.
Yeah, accuses me of the preamble. What's the
Let's make progress. There's a matter that I want us to touch on briefly before we look at the other issues. So,
accuse me.
The daily,
been able to justify.
no problem.
I am calling for peace, but
that peace should be concrete. It should be conditioned.
Thank you very much.
There's no wrong with resistance.
Thank you.
You see,
and
I'm saying that
should be the.
Let's make progress.
The point has been made. This is a very serious issue. I know my man.
No.
I know my man.
Forget your man.
I want him to understand.
No, he doesn't need to understand. The viewers understand.
That he has no copyright to heckling.
Let's make progress.
But then, yes, finally, let me emphasize that there is the need for peace.
Thank you
But
very much.
when any aggressor emerges, there should be the need for resistance.
All right, thank you very much. You're still watching the News Private segment here on Pan-African Television. My name is Kwame Usudan. So we just dealt with the Russia, Iran. Hey, Israel.
Russia to the war.
No, because I've been following Russia is in support of Iran, so that's why. Anyway,
it is a fact.
But Iranians gave Russians a lot of drones.
I know.
The Ukrainian war, and now they are producing more.
Just this morning, I'm told 2 Ukrainians have been arrested in Iran. For spying on. Oh, it's true.
I know your propaganda is big.
It's true. You see, do you know what Zelensky said? Zelensky said that they are scared because when US enters into the Israel-Iran war, they will suffer for it. Ukraine will suffer because America will no longer supply them with. That's why they are worried. So if they provide intelligence, why are you surprised that they will provide intelligence? Anyway, let's make progress. There's a story on the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper, and I just want to start on it briefly. Freddie Blay, I just want to start on it briefly.
Daily Guide,
before we make progress. So look, let me start with you. FBI cracks down on fraud boys. It's a story that most people are shying away from it, but I think it's important for us to discuss it.
Whose pictures are there?
There are no pictures.
Are you sure?
There are no pictures, Solo.
I can see 2 pictures.
No.
Okay, those are different.
So look, briefly.
Kwame, the truth of the matter is that my worry with how the FBI was able to enter this country has to do with the fact that our Minister for Interior was in writing to the court, the magistrate court, to ask it to release these suspects to the Americans. How is it that our Interior Minister did not use it as a butter? But as we are bringing or sending these people there, then they will be bringing Kenoforiata. How was that difficult? Well, it's the same as traditional order.
It's the Sulis kind of thing.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because we are talking about someone who is being accused of having misappropriated billions of dollars. According to the report, these guys have only taken 100 millions. So there should have been some sort of arrangement where exchange is not robbery. You bring our guy there, you also give it. But Kwame, you see, the truth of the matter is that in this country, as was rightly spelled out in the Great Transformational Plan, if you were to do lifestyle audit, Kwame, a lot of people will not survive in this country. A simple issue of lifestyle audit would expose all the gamers, I call them. If we had a serious national security that does proper work, once a month, come and try and go around the nightclubs or the pubs in Accra. While you go and see the way people spend as though they have money printing machines in their homes, that should be enough conclusion for a serious tax officials to be inviting people to be answering questions. We know them, we worship them, we eulogize them. In fact, go to all the harvest programs or programs that are organized by the clergy. They sit as the chairman and chairwoman because of their money. So I'm not surprised that finally some of them, and believe me, the FBI, they know all those people that do it. Sometimes they treat it as petty stealing. Yeah. But when it goes beyond a certain threshold, then look, iPhones. A lot of people steal iPhones in the US and bring it down here. That's why they come and unlock it here, give it to people here. They know it. Because sometimes in the security arrangement, they also believe that a lot of monies are concentrated in the hands of few rich who may not necessarily be buying a lot of things. So in the scheme of their own economic asset to management, when you are stealing the rich to go and buy iPhones in numbers or quantity, you are feeding money into the system. Currency there has to be current in the circulating. They know all the thieves. In fact, they know them more than they themselves know themselves. The glamour or the glamour to have more money.
Are the craze?
Kwame, now if you don't have money in this country, nobody respects you. But growing up, we respected teachers more than those that were even doing good business. I remember very well when a teacher called you in those days, you dare not say you won't go. Because we did not respect money per se. But now,
20-year-olds, 19, 15, they want to be
drive
Mercedes Benz, they want to drive Range Rover, they want to drive
and
Corvette.
they are doing all sort of things, crazy things.
Unbelievable. And I'm sure you've seen videos of small girls, like 16-year-old girls, you know, who are who go to poolside with their boyfriends who are also like 15, 16, fraud boys, you know, all those things.
Don't go far.
Moral decadence is just
Just go to the University of Ghana. There is a hall there they call Pent Hall.
Pent.
Go there. Go there. Vacations. Young ladies that you hitherto not even dream of having bicycles. They are all having Benz, Mercedes Benz. Their parents are not affluent. They don't have it. Why do they get all this money? And we see all these things and we pretend this society is so hypocritical. We pretend as though we don't know what is happening. We don't know what is happening. So until we begin to have some morals, and our parents also don't have control, because the parent himself, him or herself doesn't have money. The child is coming home with a number of problems that demands money. He or she cannot afford it. So whoever will give, whether the money is coming from anywhere, the parents are unable to speak against it. That is how we have managed our society. So it's not a pleasant. When I saw it, now a lot of people are singing in the system, but they are afraid their names may be mentioned. You understand? Now you can't sleep. Me, I sleep.
Oh yeah.
You understand?
But Dr. Mazouk, my worry. See, we are talking about Iran conflict. Okay, that may be on a larger scale. We are talking about maybe Russia-Ukraine war. That may be on a larger scale. But internally, there are wars, that silent wars that we are fighting, which I think as a nation we have not even averted our minds to. This, lack of morality and ethical considerations for a number of the things that we do in this country, perhaps is our own internal war that we must begin to look at. Because you see, I can tell you for a fact that growing up, the kind of standards that we saw, the kind of standards that we measured our future with, are no longer the standards that we measure, the young people measure their future with anymore. Now, all of them are in a haste to make money. All of them are in a haste to buy vehicles. All of them are in a haste to go to the clubs and pop champagnes, buy diamonds. And when you talk about it, they say, oh, you are envious of the person. Oh, because you are poor. Oh, because you don't have money. Right?
They
but,
use your poverty
you are using your poverty to talk nonsense. But you see, gradually, we are building a society that is irresponsible, that is in a fast lane, and that potentially will create a lot of problems for us. That you have people who glorify thievery, open thievery, and as a nation, perhaps this is our own silent war that we are not fighting. What kind of society are we? What generation? What future generation are we building as a nation to take over from us? These are conversations that we are not having, Dr. Mazu. For me, it goes beyond the apprehension of these fraud boys. These are, on a larger scale, these are big boys, right? They drive the Maseratis, they drive the Lamborghinis, but underneath them are these small SHS boys, who want to. In fact, in SS now they drive, most of these SS boys now they drive Benz.
And they have guns.
They do all manner of things. So what is I don't know how to put it. What are we doing as a nation to ensure that these young people will be brought up well by not just by their families but also by the country, so that, Charlie, we know that when we are dead and gone, the posterity will actually benefit from the decisions that we made as a country.
So, Kwame, the arrest of the cyber criminals is reactive. That's how I understand your question. Yeah. And what we should do to ensure morality in our society is proactive. So I think you want us to be proactive so that our children will not even grow to become bad adults. All right. So if you look at the whole issue, I think it is about our own redefinition of wealth. Solo has rightly said that some time ago, wealth was defined as holistic. Having money was part of wealth. Power, chieftaincy, whatever, respect was a very important component of wealth. Today, we have reduced wealth to money or materialism. And it is because we have decided to abandon our own culture. You go to average Ghanaian home, and the Sakao boy who can take care of the family is hailed. The most intelligent boy who can do well in school is underrated. So this is the kind of mentality. And to be frank with you, we cannot blame the children without blaming ourselves, those of us who are parents. It is a shared responsibility. As much as we blame the children, we should also blame ourselves. In fact, we should take the larger amount of the blame, because we are expected to train our children. And parental responsibility has now been thrown to the dogs. And that is why the children have been given unlimited freedom to misbehave and to do whatever they want to do. See, how many parents even take care of their own children? Beyond the economic needs, how many parents even check their children when they are in school? What Solo has mentioned, I mean Legon. Why? I have a son in Legon and I've allowed him, or I have a daughter in Legon, I've allowed her to do whatever she wants to do. I don't even monitor her, I don't monitor him. I think that is purely a matter of parental irresponsibility. And once you have that, plus the global network, I mean the internet, which is trying to invade every culture, trying to produce another global culture, definitely we should be able to, devise a mechanism in response. Because, look, whether we like it or not, society has a role in training our children. The internet has a role in training our children. Before the internet, we only relied on the home, the school, and the larger society. Now we have another layer: home, school, larger society, and the internet. And that one alone is more powerful than the three traditional ones. More powerful. So how do we regulate our the use of that tool among our children? I can tell you there are homes where you will not allow a child of a certain age to be accessible to the phone. There are homes where the use of the phone or the use of the internet is highly regulated in the best interest of the children. So if we can adopt such a style, definitely we'll be able to be proactive. And once again, let Ghanaians understand that wealth, it's not money. Wealth goes beyond money. Let us abandon that culture of materialism and accept moralism. And moralism is originally dictated. What is moralism in Africa may not be moralism in Europe. So I am calling on parents, on society, on government to do all that they can and to accept the new media, the digital tool, as a very important area that can also help train our children or destroy our children.
All right,
so the best we should come out to do is to ensure that we regulate this digital tool, which is constructive if it is well handled and destructive if it is wrongly handled.
Brilliant.
Thank
Chris.
Well, thank you. I have just looked at the FBI documents, and it is clear that this spans the period of 2013 to 2024. But the spike, according to the documents, is from 2017 to 2024. You can read meanings into it if you wish. But the additional charges were filed on 4th June. June 4th.
Are you reading into it? I'm very curious about the dates, the period that you mentioned, and what meanings you are reading.
That's the meaning.
No. I said you can read meanings into
And I am reading the meaning.
Oh, you have read. Okay, very well.
Is that not it?
Well, very well.
And so be bold. I know you are a very bold place. Be bold.
No.
It was the criminality took place in NPP regime. That's what you want to say. Say it.
I haven't said that. I haven't said that. And I haven't hired you as my spokesperson.
And you don't want to say that.
No. I said the period of the whole thing.
Anyway, I'm giving you
from
your
2013.
I'm giving you your own.
Don't worry. 2013 to 2024, but the spike. So if you're attributing the spike to the MPP regime, that I grant you. That I agree. In terms of
you are not your spokesperson, you agree.
No, I'm saying, you're on your own. For me, what I will be bold about is the date that they chose to file the additional charges. That's the 4th of June, 2025. We're sitting in the studio and we're calling for accountability. The FBI was sitting. Yes, that is what I want to highlight. That accountability is important, and everybody should be given an opportunity to live their lives the way they must. But when you fall foul of the law is the law. So having said that, there are things that Dr. Masuk said which I actually totally embrace. And I'll pick it back on the program that you had just before we came into the studio. The interview you had with the NEIP.
Yeah.
It used to be Youth Enterprise Support. And as a former deputy CEO of the Youth Enterprise Support, in fact, we founded the Youth Enterprise Support under President John Dramani Mahama. That was a policy direction from the 2010 Youth Policy document. Of course, at that time, I happened to be the deputy CEO of the National Youth Authority. I want to indicate that one of the key principles that the government of President John Mahama and Mills at the time was to ensure that entrepreneurship was the way forward. There are a lot of enterprising young people, given the necessary support and guidance, can make headway. Some of these guys who have been caught in this net are people who have gone wayward. You can have people who have intellect, because look, you must be smart to do some things, but some people use their smartness in negative ways, and that's where I agree that morality, upbringing, and guidance from the home setting through the community, societal, and national levels are key to our collective survival. Now, some of these guys, unfortunately, have been caught in there. And again, I want to applaud the new Mahama administration for increasing the age range. When we set it up in 2014, in consonance with the youth policy, it was supposed to be benefiting people from 18 to 35, because that's the age definition. However, now they have increased it to 40 years, because perhaps life begins at 40, or perhaps a lot more people did not benefit, and so there's a bigger, demand. So with the launch of the Ejumara, a lot of money is being put behind this project to ensure that a lot more people get access to funding and mentorship. Mentorship is very, very important. In fact, any business that you start, not only will you have to come up with, the documentation, you'll be assisted to set it up, and there'll be monitoring, constant monitoring, inclusion of which will be additional funds, sustenance, and so on. I want to believe that a lot more people will be weaned off our streets, weaned off these criminal networks, and so on. Now to the crux of why we have this. It is not just a simple matter of people looking up to social media and wanting, the best of life. But we've been preaching, even in our churches, prosperity. And I think that at the heart of any country, the kinds of things that you expose the nation to becomes what the people become if they buy into it. And so I want to entreat all religious bodies, all our cultural leaders, etc., to tone down on that. In fact, fact is that most people who are seen to be wealthy today in Ghana did not achieve their wealth by dint of hard work. They did not. They did not. In fact, I know that as a fact. If we go checking the prime areas of Accra, and you see the unexplained wealth, and you look at the people in there. Did you say cocaine? I heard that. Yes, but it's true. Be bold. Say it.
Cocaine.
Good. A lot of people made money off drugs. Okay? And then sometimes some of them wean themselves off and legitimize their businesses after they have had it as seed money. Others get hooked onto it and continue doing it. Hopefully they are not caught, and then some are caught. The percentage of those
are protected by regimes.
You see, you are going back to the MPP thing. Please stop it. Let's not politicize this thing. I have not that's why I said you may read. No, I agree. I'm saying that, no, fine. The MPP may be known for these things, but what I'm saying is that let's move on, and let's not pigeonhole it into an MPP ownership of drug business. MPP believes in property owning democracy. Their their policy direction favors these kinds of criminal activity. True. NDC, on the other hand, favors probity and accountability, social justice, and all that. And so they are diametrically opposed to this. I agree. But I'm saying that for the purpose of moving this country forward, let us not pigeonhole very well. Now, so to my point, you've heckled me enough. Can you allow me? Now, I'm saying that, you see, at the bottom of this, a lot of people made money off the drugs business. Today, it is galamsey more than drugs. Okay? And they are destroying our country, and they don't care. The same way the drug people didn't mind destroying our youth with drugs. Because, look, every time you bring drugs into the system, all right, some stays in your country. And that which stays gets used by your youth or your older people. In fact, there are a lot of old men who still do drugs. Very old men who do drugs. People who look like very serious, you know, whatever, they do drugs. Now, you see, what happens in the drug area, and I want to comment NACOP, now the name has changed. You see, the kind of drug arrests that have been made in recent times under John Mahama within a short period of 3 to 4 months of his coming to being as president of Ghana is so phenomenal. In the past, the drugs were passing through this country. They were not being arrested. They were being aided. And I've listened to people like Hussein Adoye and others. The exposés they've done about the drug trade under Akufo-Addo is overwhelming. And that one, I will give you credit that, at least in terms of the interjections and trying to pigeonhole it, I agree with you. However, no, I'll give you credit on that one. However, moving forward, I think that the Anti-Imperialists and those people who the crying wolf must stop. You know, when he cried wolf about this, the president took serious view of it and allowed all the security agencies to be put at his disposal. What did he do? He backed off. The NPP guys just cried wolf and walked away. Today, we have a certain situation beyond the drug and the galamsey. The other thing is money laundering and the proceeds of money laundering. The proceeds of corruption and money laundering and galamsey, the drug business and so on, passes through channels that you will not assume.
Master,
the nightlife thing that you're talking about.
There are people who just simply have boutiques.
Yes. But nothing.
Food joints.
And they are not selling anything.
Furniture shops.
Yes, no screens.
Bro,
yes.
They're buying Rolls Royces, they're buying Lamborghinis.
They added the land. They are buying land. In fact, lands are the currency. In fact, the prime lands are the currency of these money laundering. They buy it cheap, sell it. Yeah, the la lands.
Yes, real estate.
The la lands. Real estate.
Almost all of them are real estate moguls.
Yes. So I think that we must have a holistic view to solving this.
All right.
And that is where I again want to applaud the president for. Oh, you've not been around for some time. Good news. The Presidential Commission of Inquiry into the expropriation of lands, the Gadangbe lands, has started at the Ministry of Lands.
For me.
Yeah. And also the investigation or inquiry into the bungalows and the state lands is underway. I want to congratulate you two.
It has to be extended to the Achimota Forest. All those that have acquired pieces there, we must know.
No, I want to look. I trust this president to leave a good legacy, and I think that we must all support him.
He has done a good job.
Congratulations! I mean, congratulations to all of you. And I think that it mustn't end with the beginning. We must ensure that we police the process so its logical conclusion is felt by every Ghanaian. And the operation, oral must work. Must really happen. The reason being that at the end of the day, when Ghana has enough money, when more money is put into things like the NEIP, and a lot more people who have entrepreneurial mindset are put out there to start their own businesses and mop up those who don't have the entrepreneurial mindset, we'll have fewer people who the devil finds work for idle hands. And so let us assist. We are helping ourselves. That's why I said we should not pigeonhole it into anything.
Let me read a few messages, Prince. And maybe that can also guide us, because this conversation is very, very important. Usually we talk about, politics, NDC, MPP, movement for change, NDC, MPP, movement, NDC, MPP, movement. But we forget that these are very, very, very important. The future of our children is very important. Good morning to you, KOD. I can tell you on authority, some of our politicians are sponsored by these Sakawa boys. It's just like the Galamsey problem that we are facing. There's one MP who won his primary sponsored by these Sakawa boys. So how would he help in the fight against it? From a concerned citizen, in Savannah region. You didn't add your name because you don't want to be exposed. That's good. The breakdown of social moral fiber is as a result of holistic adoption and copying foreign policies and laws, which has brought us here. Our human rights policies and laws does not fit well in the African environment. Example, child rights. How can a child who cannot make a reasonable decision for him or herself have rights? All right. Okay, well, the ending part, I'm sure out of context, but I know what he's trying to say. Because you see, I think, is it the education minister has brought it back to discipline children in school?
The PTAs are back.
Charlie, because Solo, when I was in Asante Mampo, I was so stubborn.
No, but you see,
so stubborn. Charlie, the cane corrected my braids. The cane. Oh yeah, the cane. My father will beat the hell out of me.
Look, every school my kids attend, when I go, though they say they are not to be caned, I go, I personally instruct all the teachers over there.
Yes.
That when my daughter alone, when he misbehaves, Peter.
Yes.
I always give them that authority. Because you cannot just tell me that somebody will not correct your son. Why? In Europe and America, they don't treat them like. Who told you? When they go into their various
do you know what they do?
Homes and stuff, they want to beat them.
I know.
in Iran and
Cody, if the US can send FBI to Ghana to arrest criminals, why can't Ghana also send their security agencies to America to bring down Kedufurata? Do Americans have a different blood in them, unlike Ghanaians? Stephen from Kwabenya.
No, but
good morning to you, my brother.
Collaborated with our security agencies.
So they must also collaborate.
Good morning to you, my brother. Dr. Mazouk is behaving like Saka today. Eddie said this one. Good morning to you, KOD. I was scrolling through my channels and I landed on Pan-African television. Immediately I saw Solomon. I had to increase my TV volume. Solo doesn't miss. Tell him not to go back to the elephant party. Felix from Ashaiman sent in this one.
You have made me.
Good morning to you, KOD. Please talk to your producers. You are discussing a topic, yet there's a different caption on the screen. Oh, you people. You are currently talking about Fraud Boys extradition, yet your screen is displaying a Japan slams MPP. Oh, how? We have not gotten to that topic. Master, I will give you. No, my time is not up. That topic, we have to discuss it. Good morning to you, honorables, panel speakers. Please let us all blame our parenting in the nation Ghana. We have sold our morals to money. We are not interested in inviting morals into our hearts and homes. Let's go back to our precious morals and leave the white man's training in food and good moral training. Thank you. Mama Nancy sent in this one. Today we say we are doing diet, we are doing this, we are doing that. Meanwhile, when we grew up in it, we used to eat everything. We used to eat everything.
This is the only country someone can come and tell you that your local foods you are eating.
Can you imagine? The food that we have enjoyed is junk.
Fufu from day one, you are telling me at my age is junk.
Good morning to you. Kwame Owusu-Danso, you are a worthy citizen of Ghana. Oh, thank you. I want to be part of Oral Must Work demonstration. Please let me have your contact. Elijah Mohammed Yahaya from Tamale.
It's like a launch of oral.
This morning I pray for you that may God show himself strong in your life this week, in your academics business. All right, thank you very much. We appreciate your message. One of the things I don't like is Mr. Host. You don't know my name. Mr. Host. Good morning to you, Lawyer KOD. Laughably, Trump has the guts to say Iran is bullying the nations around him. But the Zionist Israel can possess nuclear and bully others and massacre the people of Palestine. Does that man Trump think before he talks at all, or he doesn't know what the word bullying is? And who bullies worse than the Americans? If Israel can possess nuclear, and then every country should have it. Enough of the nonsense. Supremacy. Anyway, I blame Hitler for sparing. He said, I regret condemning the Holocaust. Bibi from Musu. No, that thing has been trending on Twitter.
No, that's not the point.
He said, there's a quote that is attributed to Hitler. He said that my spirit will rise up or so one day and people will appreciate and thank me for the decisions that I took. You know, like I'm just paraphrasing.
I've understood what you're saying.
I
like Solo's
statement.
But on the question of Iran-Saudi Arabia relationship, he has no idea about recent developments.
Yes,
these two countries have normalized their relationship with Saudi Arabia, and embassy reopened in Tehran with the leadership in constant contacts and visits. Saudi Arabia was among the first Gulf states to condemn Israel. Please, let's do proper reading and research.
Let me tell you. I think I've mentioned that. No, you see, he's reading minutes into it on the surface. I am telling you, let him also understand that he must always read minutes into geopolitics beyond what is given to him.
Beyond the rhetorics.
I'm telling you that if Saudi Arabia was not enjoying, the US was enjoying the support of Saudi Arabia, UAE, Oman, Qatar, there is no way they will invade Iran.
That's true.
You can come out and say you have opened embassies. What? Don't they have embassies in countries that they don't agree with?
Okay. Let me read. Whenever these acclaimed policemen of the world want to attack any nation of the world, they only have to conspire to accuse that country of one thing or the other. Didn't they do the same thing to the late Saddam Hussein and make sure he was killed based on falsehoods? Asanko from Santa Maria sent in this one. Adam Kwashi in East Legon. Only Allah, God, can determine who must have what. What right does America and Israel have to determine who should not develop nuclear weapons? They have become gods besides God. As the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan of the Nation of Islam in America said in 2017, I want to disabuse the Jews today of the false claim that you are the chosen of God, and that Israel or Palestine belongs to you. I want to make it so clear, and I'm going to tell you about your future. You that think you have power to frighten and dominate the peoples of the world, I'm here to announce the end of your time. In the Holy Quran, the Jews planned and Allah planned. Allah is the master of planners. Iran must never bow down to the imperialist demands of America. Good morning to you. I am Augustine from Qatar constituency. Please help me understand why USA can amass nuclear weapon while a sovereign state, Iran, can't. Does the United States fully fund their budgets? Why can't the world part company with the US, starting from the African continent? All right. Okay. Good morning to you, great friends. As we talk about wars very far away from us, let us also consider the jihadists trying to take over the African continent by force and make it Islamic continent. Thanks, Reverend Father Ignatius James Yawamponsa Achim Intronang.
This is a very ignorant Reverend Father. I'm telling you.
Good morning to you, Pan-African TV.
Let him understand.
Most of our parents have, respectfully, that's his opinion.
Yes.
Most of our parents
is out of either arrogance or ignorance. He's an ignoramus. He should understand that the jihadis do not have, they don't even recognize Islam. They are not part of us. They don't speak for us. And their intention is not to establish Islamic governance in Africa. He should understand that.
Okay.
Yes.
Most of our parents have disappointed us by giving birth to the many children they cannot feed, clothe, nor provide shelter for.
These are people who think that
for instance,
Israeli is just about Islam and Christianity.
For instance, there was a young, please, can I read the messages? For instance, there was a young girl caught outside having sex with a boy. When she was asked what her problems were, she said she said to the people that the parents gave birth to 7 of them, and they are all sleeping in a single room. And whenever she wants to go out to urinate at night, she realized her parents were having sex, and she went out without ever coming back, and her parents never asked of her whereabouts. Stonje in Tamale sent in this one. Tony Blair once confessed that he smacks his children when they misbehave. In the past, parents gave birth to children and the community helped bring them up. Good morning, Pan-African Television. My name is Solomon Derry from Upper West Region. In fact, Solomon is a national asset to this nation, and we must all do our best to protect him at all costs. His austerity, in-depth knowledge, and fearless approach to national issues are worth emulating. I really like him, and I wish to learn from him. I seek Mr. Solo's consent for me to give my number to him. Hey, your number is nice, so I'll give it to Solo. Solo will call you because you're also so. Move for change. Because Solo, I'm forwarding it to you on WhatsApp. Linked up with a gentleman. Most of the politicians are affiliated to these Sakawa boys. I remember watching a live Snapchat video of Baomia's visit to Dada Joe Remix at his home on during the run-up to the 2016.
Really visited Dada Joe?
In solidarity or what?
I don't. We are coming there. We are coming there. We are coming there.
He was arrested.
Like no. He said 2016. He said 2016.
I didn't hear the year. I thought in solidarity.
He said 2016. Why are you like that? Good morning to you, bossman. The Ghanaian today measure the success and wealth of a man by how much money and property he or she could accumulate in a lifetime, but not integrity. Why the massive corruption we are witnessing in our time? This generation is sick. Ishaba Gideon, broadcast journalist. This one says, I'm enjoying the discussion, and Solomon is my man. Adam from Kaswa. Good morning to you, Kwame. So far as Mr. Solo is on set, I'm glued to your set. Modelo from Takradi. Hey, Solo, good morning to you, Kewodi. Until we stop glorifying illicit wealth, we won't make any progress. Just take a look at how we spend during political primaries and elections. Good morning to you, Kwame. My name is Alaji Rahman Jamatu. Tell Solo to call me on 0 so I mean what so another number for you. It's a movement.
It's a movement. This
one is a comment. I remember Bill Clinton, Hasim from Prestia. This one also says Lucifer, the jinn, who was appointed by God, his creator, as a pioneer commandant of both angels and demons, was only sycophantically applauded by the army of demons. His supporters, when the destiny he arrogantly bragged before God, he stole creator and audaciously dared to disobey. I don't know. You are talking about the Jews, and quite lengthy. I can't read it all. Good morning to you. Hope all is well. I'm Michael Amagashi from Adafua. Please, I want a TV station panelist sponsors, especially to help me with any amount of money. How about that? My name is Zach. I want to talk about the road contractors payment. All right, next week. Thank you. I'm very disappointed with people who support Israel in the name of religion. My question to such people is that does the Bible believe in does the Bible they believe in support the killings that are going on, or is it the name of Israel they support? It is totally barbaric, and let's fight against it. Baba from Tema said this one. Charlie, no be easy. This thing. Look, my time is almost up, but you see, we have some time. I have some time to spend time.
Do you have enough time for me to say a big happy birthday to Kojo Chumbafo on the Financial Intelligence Center? He's doing extremely well, fishing out the monies that people have stolen from this country. And then my
Dr. Mazuk, a friend of mine is a very big friend of mine says the way you attack the Reverend Father, you know, is unfair, because that's his opinion. He's also expressing his opinion.
It was uncharacteristic of him. I think it was.
All right, so I withdraw.
Yeah.
I humbly withdraw.
He has humbly withdrawn. So respectfully,
I humbly withdraw.
But
now that he's been forgiven.
Oh, Solo, please, no, Solo. But you see, we've progressed. You see, no, this man, he's behaving like a child. You see, I'm sure when you were in class, you were disturbed.
Oh yes, so what I decided to do to him,
I'm just appealing to you to give me
what I decided to do to him.
Japan. Hey, you. Islamic MPP.
You don't like Dr. Vanessa?
That's today's birthday.
Oh,
so say it well. But you didn't say it well. You were just talking.
Now then, Kojo Chumbafo.
Kojo Chumbafo's birthday is when?
Today.
I love you. Dr. Mazu, tell Honorable Kojo Chumbafo that already they are chairman in Buffy. Happy birthday, Kojo Chumbafo. Happy birthday, Dr. Valerie. Sorry.
May Allah grant you long life, good health, and abundant prosperity.
The best of everything.
Yeah, of course.
Why? Charlie Solo, let me start with you. Kwabena Japan has been talking. Kennedy Japan has also been talking. Boache Japan has also been talking. What are they saying? They are all saying the same thing. How do you conduct primaries when you have internal cracks, disagreements, wars, red herrings, and what are some of the names of the bombs which have been, fired in Israel? No, the B-2 is the American fighter jet that they use. Hypersonic. I like the hypersonic one.
Hypersonic.
In MPP. So no, it finds expression in the very profound statement that was made by Honorable Alan Kojo Chematin.
Yes.
When he retorted without hesitation that the MPP is a declining party.
Sure.
Because you are building a house, you don't have a foundation. Then you say, oh, you are putting up the roof. And it reminds me of this proverb by Honorable A.B. Hussaini, who says that when the building collapses, how can the roof be standing? So Pan-African television has collapsed. And then the roof alone. That is what is happening in MPP. So let me hear from you.
The truth of the matter is that the way manner they are fast tracking the collapse is what amazes me. I mean, some of us believe that or had held the view that it will collapse, but the timing wasn't going to be so soon. But with this, they seem to want to fast track it so that there is nothing like MPP. Because whichever way you look at it, there is no common sense in this decision. That's how mad I can put it. That a vehicle goes to have an accident, it has not been fixed. We are around looking for a driver. Mechanic has not even attended to the vehicle. And all those that are calling that it has to be from the top down, their excuse is that once they elect their presidential candidate early enough, it will then deal with all the nuances within the party. But who has assured them that? In any contest, if people are given a raw deal, if people feel cheated, they will make noise. They will not be happy with the situation. They will not be happy with the process. And no amount of talking would solve the problems. But unfortunately, they have decided to go on that tangent. I mean, you know that as a movement, it is metamorphosing into a political party. I wish we would have strong political opponents, but in the same way, I don't envisage a reserve player always praying that those that are regularly playing will continue to play. A reserve player will always pray that the main player at a point gets injury so that he can also have his opportunity.
So look, let me ask you a very candid question.
Yes.
And I respectfully would want your candid answer.
Yes.
Do you think that Ghanaians are ready to move away from this rigid mental duopolistic system that they have adopted over the years from 19... Oh, no, I'm asking a very genuine question. And a very, very harmless but very progressive question. The reason being that, you see, and let's face it, from 1992, we have only witnessed two major political parties in government. NDC, MPP, NDC, MPP, and then NDC now, right? Now, of course, people go to and vote or exercise their franchise by reason of, first of all, whether or not the government has performed, and whether if the government has performed, that translates into their well-being, right? And so people vote for that. But to the extent that we've consistently changed political parties, okay, tells you that people have not been satisfied. People are not satisfied, really, with the kind of governance that we have been introduced to over the period, right? Somehow, the Ghanaian people are unable to take this very painful but important decision to try another political party as opposed to the two. So, of course, and I'm asking this question flowing from the stream of the disagreement in MPP, right? That whether or not that can translate to the movement for change, which will soon metamorphose into a political party, to gain some grounds, you know, in order that they can take on the baton and perhaps, you know, go against the NDC or go against the. So I'm just asking you this candid question. Would we ever get to that point where Ghanaians will say, you know what, NDC, MPP?
Kwame, we will get there. In fact, I have that belief that we will get there. You see, the truth of the matter is that
end with him
growing up,
right now,
growing up, I never envisaged a time when House of Folk and Kotoko will be deposed from our league. That at any given season, it will either be Kotoko first, House second, or House first, Kotoko second.
Yeah, I remember.
What are we seeing today? They even struggle to place fourth and fifth.
Yeah, Heart of Lions has won several times.
This very season was won by Bibiani Goldfields also. They just came into the league. It is organization decides everything. It is how well a political party comes with this organization and the credibility of the people leading. Because the Ghanaian is always looking for alternative. The Ghanaian has lost hope in the way and manner these two leading political parties have conducted their affairs. But many a times, the political parties that come, look, we went into an election, immediately after the election, look at the political parties that took part in the election. All of them are gone.
Yeah, they're sleeping.
Sleeping. So who will take you serious?
But why do we even give them that audience?
That is, I mean...
I don't understand. Like, you notice that after the elections, they all go quiet. All right? And then in 2020, you see them surface again. And Ghanaians will still go and I don't understand.
The Ghanaian is not entrusting the destinies of this country into their hands. Look, we went into an election as a movement. Ever since we were done with the elections, you see the movement being active.
Yeah.
They're still propagating the ideas and principles of the movement. That is how you keep an organization active to win something. But immediately you are done with the elections, you go and sleep. The next 4 years, you come back. I don't know whether it's a business. Maybe they get money from governments of the day. That is why it is appealing to them. So, Kwame, there will be that time. Today, we don't have enough time. I will leave some of the time for my brothers to also make their points. But it will happen in this country.
Thank you very much. I think that I agree with your statement, except that you are seeking to change your original question from the MPP.
That's why I said it flows from the stream.
No, the river cries still. No, you see, you have been extreme with your narrative in your own interest. But yes, I support the movement to replace MPP because it's a better alternative to the MPP. So if you're going to have a duopoly of NDC and the movement, whatever name you come up with, and I've heard Amakuba also come up with a party that's being formed very soon. The narrative of those dormant political parties comes to the doorstep of the EC chairperson. The EC should have cleaned them out a long time ago, even before the elections. But except their purpose, their political, parochial purpose, the pro-MPP EC, that is Boss Masari, Atuahene, and Jean, to keep them in place to support the MPP's quest. Now, I think that for me, the actual question, which is the MPP's roof under and then foundation at the top scenario, is just to save Bawumia's humiliating defeat becoming his nemesis. No, and Ken has summarized it. Ken not Kofriata, Ken Japan summarized it. I mean, how can you suffer such a rejection, an overwhelming rejection, and yet want to lead us? He wants to lead, and those who are the national headquarters want him to lead, and so they want to foist it on MPP. Now, when they foist it on MPP, then they will go ahead and now elect people who will be surrogates of Bawumia at the middle and then at the base. For those of you in the movement, it's a blessing, because if the MPP wants to continue to implode, the only drawback, however, is that he's going to have, and that is one of the things that they confirmed as their reason for doing what they did, is to have a party that is led by a dictator. Their own deputy national organizer said that on television. they know that they are under siege. Their leaders are under siege from the loss, from the corruption and the oral prosecutions that lay ahead. And so they want to galvanize themselves around one leader, and that they run the risk of collapsing totally if every one of them is hauled before the courts for their roles in stealing the public purse and milking it dry. So I think that it should be made very clear to Ghanaians that this is not about an election. It is about their survival. That is what he said. It's about their very own survival as a people. For those of us Ghanaians out there, we want to have credible parties. We want to have not just a government in place, but credible opposition to keep it on its toes. Because at the end of the day, if you leave any government, no matter how well-intentioned it is, John Mahama government is doing very well, but it needs that fire to go across the finish line in a record time, so that we who are Ghanaians, who have been shortchanged by the failings of the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government, the thievery of SIM, and the kind of legacy that they left of galamsey and all those dangerous things can be weaned off this. And for those of us from La and elsewhere, we want to applaud the good movement in the direction of our lands.
All right, thank you.
I want to thank you guys also for supporting. Solo, thank you guys all for supporting.
Dr. Mazouk, you have the last bite.
Thank you. First of all, permit me to say that last year, before the elections, I had made a statement that MPP has two things to break. Either break the aid or break the party.
I remember you said that.
Right.
You said that.
Yes, so unfortunately, they haven't broken the aid. And unfortunately, they are on the verge of breaking the party.
You are vindicated.
So I don't want to be vindicated, to be frank with you. No, I don't. I'm serious. I don't want to be vindicated. I'm a lover of democracy. And it is not in the interest of democracy in Ghana that NDC is destroyed or MPP is destroyed. These are two big political parties that have dominated the political scene since the birth of the Fourth Republic. The duopoly that you have mentioned is very, in fact, the duopoly is a strategy to the two political parties, but it is a tragedy to the nation.
Repeat that again.
The duopoly,
it's music to your ears. I love it.
The duopoly is a strategy to the two political parties, the MPP and the NDC, but it is a tragedy to the whole nation. And we must do everything possible as a nation to dismantle that duopoly.
So can I ask a question? If the MPP is
you pay back. Okay, I'm ready for you. Hey, look, so now you are the sucker. You are sucker, right? Because I have decided to be sucker. I'm answering your question. Please, your question is that.
Proceed. You don't agree MPP is a tragedy, but if the movement replaces MPP,
I am answering.
Will that duopoly still represent a tragedy?
Have you seceded the position of the host? You see now the host.
Please proceed.
So I should answer your question.
My question, proceed.
All right. I'll answer yours when we are out of this, please. All right. So you see, it is a duopoly. And that is why the movement, there should be many movements. In fact, Alan Chilmanten, a very good man, has been able to prove to Ghanaians that it's not only MPP or NDC that can govern. I want to believe, because when I say I don't want to be vindicated, and I mean it, I don't want to be vindicated. I don't want the destruction of MPP. So my piece of advice to them is that they should do everything possible to overcome the challenges. I want to believe that NDC has ever been in that situation, but it managed its challenges very well, and today it is back to power. It is possible for the MPP to come back to power, but that will depend on how it manages its post-election challenges. One of the things that I want to talk about, and this gives me opportunity once again, my Reverend Father, I apologize to you for my, yes.
There's a video I want all of you to see. Unfortunately, we can't show it on TV. So this is.
But let me.
Hold on. So this is.
I believe that the video will not take out take my time.
No, you're not going to take your time. No worry, I got you.
Okay.
So this is a Zionist who saw Palestinian flag, stopped his car and tried to take it down. Look at what happened to him. So just watch the video. Some few seconds, watch. Then you can explain it to the viewers.
Yes.
Oh, no. So he's dead. He's dead.
So you see, sometimes, I mean, it's just unfortunate. And you know, let me also say, you see, to be frank with you, I'm
that was a nice trap.
Yes. I apologize to the Reverend Father, but I want him to read more about Islam, about jihadism, about the word jihad. There's no time for me to explain to him. The whole what you see, so he should read more and should stop generalization. Generalization has been identified as a mark of as a mark of mental retardation. You understand that? Yes.
Sound mind.
So I do apologize, and I want him to understand that he and I are the same, because we both belong to Abrahamic religions, Islam and Christianity. Even the Jews, Islam, Judaism, and Christianity are Abrahamic religions. But let me, but I haven't finished.
Sorry.
No, but you said I haven't finished.
Go ahead.
Yes, I haven't finished. So let me also say it clear. I mean, there is a dose of religious politics in MPP. That is very bad for the party. It is very bad for the nation. Very, very bad for the nation. They should do everything possible to avoid that terrain. It's dangerous. Religious politics is not good for all of us. Ghana, in its constitution, provides for religious pluralism. And therefore, no political party should open the gates of religious conflicts in the name of power.
Thank you.
Let me end by saying, by going back to the Israeli-Iranian issue. Every life, every Jewish life lost should be a matter of concern to all of us as members of humanity. Every Persian life lost should be a matter of concern to all of us. Every Arab life lost should be a matter of concern to all of us. Today, we are opposed to the Israeli aggression because we were opposed to Holocaust yesterday. And we are still on the path of justice for all and peace for all.
Thank you very much. From Ike Tanyigbe, is this the MPP once upon a time being in the hands of political stalwarts? The mice are now joking on the grounds where lions, buffaloes, elephants, tigers, etc. came to meet to deliberate on the way forward. Markings and the cause are now the ... Please, lawyer, so I'll be grateful if you could tell Dr. Marzouk that I need his number. I am Jibril from Tamale. Come on to KOD. MPP are not serious, because how can you build a house without having a plan? No foundation layout, and you are straight roofing the house. In fact, in the first place, where is the house? And are they eager to roof it? In fact, building a castle in the air is out of ignorance. They always think of the top and forget about the grassroots. Mahime Dominic Ying, watching you live from Upper East region, specifically Tongo. You know, Tongo was my nickname when I was in senior secondary school. Pa Tongo. Hey. Let me end the show, but before ending the show, I'd like to respectfully appeal to my brothers and sisters in Ga, La, Nungwa, and all the lands within the Greater Accra Enclave, that we want a peaceful Homo war. A very peaceful Homo war.
Very important.
Accra is the seat of government. And whatever happens in Accra affects everybody. So please, we beg of you, whatever the altercation is, whatever the disagreements are, respectfully dialogue and jojo, as opposed to picking up maybe arms and maiming people and killing people, etc. We don't want that in Accra. We don't want that in Ghana. We don't want that anywhere else. So with respect, using this opportunity through this medium to wish all of us a happy Homo War and a peaceful one for that matter. On that note...
It's not part of this, right?
No, we don't have a chief now, so normally we have what is called Nanikma.
Nanikma.
So that one is not a full-blown, but then the merrymaking, etc. will happen. There are some people who are usurping the powers. That one, I think there's an injunction, so hopefully they'll respect it, or maybe the courts might have them held for contempt. That's about it.
Okay. My actually senior at the bar, he was the one who expressed, So he sent a message, said he's a gentleman to have apologized. Next time, a little patience will do. So, Senior Leo, yes, Dr. Mazouk is not like that. I think that, it's not like Saka.
Trust me, I'm a gentleman.
Yeah.
He's exercised the spirit of Saka.
I like that. Oh, Charlie, the messages are pouring in. All right, please tell Honorable Solo to call me. Hey, Solo. Good morning to you, KOD. Can I get Mr. Solomon's number for a job? Or give me...
For a job.
For a job. Hey, Solo.
Ejumara.
Now, what do you want to
No, but Ejumara has been launched.
While they are leaving the Minister of Employment, they come to me. Then we have to take over the government.
No. Ejumara has been launched. To educate the people.
But you are here telling you are government.
But when they call you, tell them that Mr. Government has introduced Ejumara.
He's telling you that when they call you, you send them to him.
No, I beg.